So this afternoon, I'm going to touch on the unhealed single mom. The unhealed single mom is a single mom who is hurt and bitter towards the father of her child, towards her own life. Sometimes it could be towards her own family. And in return, she would also have that resentment towards her own child. Now, this is for a single mom. And sometimes some of you are married and you end up not liking the man that you're married to, and you still feel like a single mom in your marriage. So you might actually relate to some of the things that I'm about to say in this video. I truly believe that this video is important because when you are bitter or you have resentment towards the father of your child, sometimes some of you transfer that energy to your child, and your child will feel like you don't like them, you don't love them, even though in your head you might think, oh, but I'm doing all the necessary things that a mother would do for a child, so why does my child feel like that? But energy does not lie. Energy does not lie. Is this recording? As I was saying before, that energy doesn't lie. And when someone feels like you don't like them or you don't love them, it's never a wrong feeling. It's usually accurate. Okay. Growing up, I've experienced this as well, where some of you lot know my story. I've grown up with a stepdad, and I can honestly tell you that energy doesn't lie when a particular parent is trying to act like they care and they love, but deep down they don't. Your kids can see through it. They're not dumb. They can definitely see through it. So let's talk about the things that an unhealed single mom who is bitter and who has resentment towards the father of her child, towards her child, how she would behave. Then I'm going to talk about what you need to do to overcome this. So let's get into it. I'm just looking at my notes because I don't want to forget anything that I'm going to say in this video. So normally the unhealed single mom is always constantly seeking for revenge. And when she finds the opportunity to do so, she will do harm. So when she's looking for revenge, it's usually towards the father of her child. So depending on what the situation was, maybe you guys were in a relationship, you broke up, and now you're pissed off or you have a resentment that he's no longer your boyfriend, he's moved on, he's married, he's engaged to someone, or he's playing around. So now you're looking for ways to destroy his relationship. And so when you realize the father of your child is in a better position or with someone better, you're looking for ways to destroy the good things that he's got going on in his life. The next one is that you make unrealistic demands, especially when you know that the father of your child desperately want to see your kids. And because you're in pain, because you have bitterness, because you're hurt, you're looking for ways to make it difficult for him to see his kid, because you want, when people are hurt, when people are bitter, they hurt other people and they don't care about other people's emotions because they want other people to feel the hurt and the pain that they're going through internally. So you look for what would make them happy and try to turn it against them. And as single moms who is not healed, who's hurt and bitter, when you know the father of your child really wants to be involved in that kid's life, and you know he's not abusive, you know he's respectful, you know he's polite, but because you're bitter, because you're hurt, you're looking for a way to make it difficult for the child to get to him. But what's funny about this is when he starts to act like he doesn't even care about the kid, then you're pissed off even more. And that's how you know that, for one, you're not emotionally stable, you're not emotionally mature, and two, you are still bitter. Now, when you look for ways to make it difficult for the father of your child to see your kid, when you know that this is a good man, when you know that he's willing to step up and, take responsibility, you then are left with the responsibility of that child on your own. And if you are a single mom, you know the struggle of taking care of one child on your own. It is a lot, especially in this day and age when you have to work to make money, you have to work to pay the bills, you have to be here, there, everywhere. And at the same time, you're a full-time mom and a full-time job and you have to look after yourself. It is so difficult. So I just want to say this, before you look for ways to make life hard for the father of your child, just because you're bitter and hurt, just remember that you're also not doing yourself any favor. You're not going to get any help that you're supposed to get because you're out here trying to cause pain to someone who could be of help for you. When you know he's a good man, when you know he can financially help, when you know he's responsible, when you allow him to help, it takes a lot of stress off you. It takes a lot of stress off you, and you would need to either go to therapy or do a lot of inner work to find a way to get rid of the pain, to get rid of the bitterness, and work your way through those feelings. Another thing that you have to consider, because a lot of single moms who are unhealed, who are hurt and who are bitter, if you have a daughter or even a son and the dad is not in their life, they end up picking the wrong spouse. I've talked about the spirit of rejection and how it affects people who are born in one parent household. I will leave the link to that video somewhere on the screen or in the description box. So when a kid grows up in a one-parent household, they go through the spirit of rejection. 9 times out of 10, they end up picking the wrong spouse. And the implication of you trying to destroy their relationship with their dad will also affect them in future relationships with other people. I'm really referring to dads that want to be involved, ones that financially want to help, and ones that are actually good and respectful. One of the resentment and the bitterness and the hurt that you have sometimes is that you've given birth to a kid in a situation where you don't like the kid's dad. And then to make matters worse, the kid looks exactly like the man that you don't like. And some of you are just not mature enough emotionally to understand that you not liking your child hasn't really got much to do with the child, but it has everything to do with you and how you see the scenario, because the child is innocent. You brought the child here, you gave birth to that child, and for you to treat that child like the child is the problem, and the child is really not the problem, because you and that man decided to have sex and maybe you made the decision on your own to give birth to that child. The child was not part of the decision making. You went through a process that gives you a result of a baby, and you've gone through the phase of having this baby. So the child really didn't have any say in the whole process. If the child knew from heaven that, oh my gosh, like, she's going to be a bitter mom, she's not going to be nice, she's going to be emotionally unavailable, she's going to be a narcissistic, that child would have stayed up in heaven and not bother coming down on this earth. Okay, but you've decided to bring that child here on this earth. So you have to really do the inner work and realize that this has nothing to do with the child. It has everything to do with you and your actions. And maybe it's time to forgive yourself. Maybe it's time to hold yourself accountable and say, if I didn't open my legs, I wouldn't get this type of result. So you have to forgive yourself. When I had a kid at 16, it literally took almost 10 years for me to forgive myself. The reason why I didn't forgive myself, and I really hated the fact that I gave birth at that age, was one, I wasn't available to do what I was supposed to do as a mom. Two, I gave birth to my son in my parents' household, and I didn't like that. I would have preferred it to happen in my own household, to happen in a marital setting, to happen in a healthy environment. And I was so angry with myself. I was so pissed off with myself that I didn't even forgive myself for doing that. So there are times where we're told, oh, we have to forgive other people, we have to forgive other people. But sometimes you have to forgive yourself for putting yourself in that situation, and be graceful towards yourself, and just let yourself know that the deed is already done. But from this time on, I'm going to be in full control in how I want things to be. Obviously, God being the number one, but I'm going to hold myself accountable with a lot of my actions, and I'm going to be in full control on how things are supposed to be, and make sure that I pursue the type of life that I want, and not let having a kid hold me back, and not let having a kid stop me from going for what I want. It might take time because I've got a kid. It might take time because, you know, this newborn or this baby needs a lot of my energy, a lot of my time. But at some point I will get there. You have to reaffirm yourself. You have to talk to yourself. You have to look at yourself in the mirror and talk to yourself and let yourself know it's okay. We've made a mistake, or I've given birth to a child for the wrong man, or I've chose the wrong man to be the father of my child, but life goes on, and I need to heal, and I need to get past it so I can be the most healthiest person I could be for myself and my kid, mentally, physically, and emotionally, because energy does not lie. When you don't like your kid will know. They may not know at 5, they may not know at 6, but one day it will just click. They will put all the pieces together. Oh, I remember when mom didn't like my artwork. I remember when mom compared me to this person. I remember when mom left me at school, didn't pick me up on time. I remember their brain is going to put A, B, C, D, E, F, G together like a puzzle. And then when they grow up and they're on social media, they're going to come across a video, how to know your mom is emotionally unavailable, how to know your mom doesn't like you. And then it will just click like a light bulb and be like, oh my gosh, so this whole time my mom didn't like me. And then you're going to wonder, why is the kid behaving somehow? Why is the kid not trying to get close to you? It's because of that. So if you are having issues liking that child, loving that child, 9 times out of 10, the child is not the issue. It's you. It's you. There's a battle going on in the inside of you that you need to tackle. You need to ask yourself, why? What is going on? Why do I have so much resentment? Why do I have so much hurt towards my child or towards the father of my child? Another thing I need you to remember is that if your kid grows up and finds out that you stopped them from talking to the father of their child because of your selfish gain or because of how you feel, rather than you being logical, they will have a huge resentment towards you in the future. Just remember that certain decisions that you make, you have to consider certain people in your life, your kids, your family, image, reputation, all that kind of stuff. You have to consider that, because when you're a mom, it's no longer about just me, 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 me. It's me plus, it's me, and you have to you have to like think about other people's feelings, not just yours. Even though you could do whatever you want to do, but what you don't want is for your kids to grow up and resent you, and for them to think that you're selfish and it's all about you when it's not all about you. One of the things you can do to slowly get out of this, like I mentioned earlier, is to do the inner work. Is to isolate yourself in a room, you alone. And sometimes this is what kind of works for me. When you close your lips, keep quiet, don't talk, and listen to the words that's going on in your heart, in your soul, towards your life, towards your kids, towards the people around you, you can kind of get to the root problem as to why you feel that way. This is going to save you like loads of money in therapy. If you just keep quiet and listen to all the words and the statements and the sentence that's going on in the inside of you, it will give you answers to know why you're bitter and angry towards your kid, towards the father of your child. And then you need to now do the inner work. Basically find a way to get through that emotions and move forward. Because if you're still in those emotions of anger, bitterness, hurt, rage, all you're going to think about is the people that you're bitter towards. This is what I've noticed. If you're so angry with somebody that you have to see all the time, you have to talk to all the time, sometimes you want to strangle them and all you think about is them, because you see them all the time. You see them all the time. So all you think about is them, or you talk about is them. Even when you talk to strangers, On a subconscious level, you end up talking about the people. Whew, I'm so sorry. I didn't realize I'm this tired. You end up talking about the people that you're angry towards, right? So this is what you don't want. As part of the rich mom mindset, our goal is to be emotionally mature so that we can thrive and move forward. We don't want to be stuck in this place of, I don't like the father of my kid, I don't want to talk to him. Like, there's so many single moms that complain so much about the father of their child. I work in corporate, and I hear the conversations and the discussions of single moms with their with the father of their child, and all the things that they have to deal with that they really don't have to deal with. And a lot of it is just that they're emotionally immature and they don't really know how to do things from a place of logic. So that's why I'm doing this video, and I hope that this video has helped you. I hope that this video will allow you to do the inner work that you need to do, and to get therapist if you need a therapist, or seek professional help, or someone that you can kind of talk to that can kind of get you through those emotions. Because some of you, your emotions are numb, you don't even know how to feel it, but getting professional help can help you with that. So that's it for today. Stay blessed and stay beautiful. Bye.